welcome back to the Mod Squad Network's Conversations with the Mod Squad. I'm your host, Kevin, always joined by Felix.
What's up?
And this week's guest is Joe from Miscast Joe. How's it going, man?
Doing really good. Thanks for having me, guys.
Not a problem. The first question that I always like to ask our guest is, what exactly is Miscast Joe, and how did that show come about?
Well, Miscast Joe is it's a tech review channel that is mostly geared towards content creators. So I do a lot of microphone reviews, I do mixer reviews, camera reviews, those sorts of things. Been breaking into things like phones and other things that fall into a little bit of a content creator milieu, if you will, because they work. But I've just been expanding that a little bit. How that came to be, so years ago now, about 7 years, I don't even know how many years ago, almost 8 years ago, actually, my best friend and I reconnected after a really long time, and we decided we were going to do a podcast together called Miscast Commentary. It's still out. You can go check that out whenever I feel like posting. And the big thing was he is away every other week, and when we would record together, that week of not doing anything, I started getting a little antsy to shoot something, to create something. So I was trying to think, what's my thing gonna be that's just me, right? What's my solo project? And I was thinking about that for a long time, and my sister, who is the editor of a tech and gaming online magazine, reached out to me one day, and I can actually just reach out with this. She showed me a picture of this. So this is the Loop Deck Live. And she said, do you know anything about this? And I'm like, I happen to know quite a bit about that. And I told her kind of what she should keep an eye out for, and just kind of like what cool things you might be able to do and all that. And she goes, would you like to review it? And I was like, okay, sure. And then I was like, okay, when do you need this back? And they're like, oh no, it's yours now.
Oh, nice.
Big wide eyes go, and I'm like, okay. So we fell into a new interesting thing, and then from there I was like, okay, this is something I can do. I have a knowledge base. I went to school for television and audio, film, radio, and television, and to transfer over to content creation felt like a pretty easy leap to me. And then I just started reviewing stuff, and it's been going for almost 4 years now.
Very cool. So basically what this show is all about is letting your fans get to know you more on a personal level, but in a lighthearted kind of way. What we'll do is we'll start off with some word association questions from Felix. Basically, he'll say a word, and you say the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay. I'll ask you about 15 thought-provoking questions, and then we finish up with some rapid fire this or that. All right, yeah, let's get into it. Felix, go ahead and start off with your first word association question, my man.
All right, man. Western.
Cowboy.
Hero.
Cape.
Desire.
Dreams.
I like it. Network.
Community.
Storm.
Cozy.
Adventure.
I know I should answer this one faster. I don't know why this one kind of blanked me a little bit.
That's cool.
Adventure. Life.
That's what's up. All right. Bizarre.
Me.
Memory.
Disney.
Fear.
Loss.
Microphone.
Lots.
Cheeseburger.
Sure.
That was the last one. I like that one too.
I love it. And the first question I have for the thought-provoking questions is to follow up on Felix's cheeseburger. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Ooh, this is a controversial one. I used to say no, and just be outright, it's not, and it's like it's sandwich is a stacked thing. But then
Stop there. Stop
Subway.
there. Stop there. Stop there. Stop there.
No, I know you guys can get mad at me, and I know what your feelings are on this because I have seen this show. But
Yeah.
when Subway wouldn't stop bothering me, saying that we are a sandwich shop and all we're doing is cutting open a bun and sticking something inside.
Oh.
So
Never
it
thought
is
of
what
that,
it is.
That aspect of it.
It's there is a loophole. I would say I have no problem with it not being on the sandwich part of a menu. I am not offended by that by any way, shape, or form, but nor do I see an issue with it sitting there. Because where else is it going to sit?
Hey, agree to disagree, but hey, that's perfectly fine with me.
Oh, good.
When I think of a hot dog, I think of going to an event, and I love wrestling. I love going to wrestling events because when that wrestler comes through that curtain and that music hits, you know exactly who he is and what he's all about. If a theme song played every time you walked into a room, what would it be?
Rock Lobster by the B-52s.
Rock Lobster.
There's a very specific reason behind that. It is it has informed a lot of my personality. When I went to college, my one friend stayed behind. He needed a couple of extra English credits to qualify for university, and he was going to drama school. And so he decided that he was going to get these credits, but he was going to get them his own way. And so every project he did, he made a movie, and he'd have me come out with equipment, and we would shoot stuff. And we shot a movie that was supposed to be about NAFTA, but he made it about a guy named Frank NAFTA who was poisoning the water supply. And we made it so the bad guy, whenever he drove up, was iedetically in the movie listening to Rock Lobster in his van. And that was just, and then from then on, whenever I hear that, it just encompasses me.
Oh, I love it. I love
That's
it,
what's
man.
up.
Speaking of music, though, what is your guilty pleasure car karaoke song? You know, that song that you kind of roll the windows up and crank the music and just sing as loud as you can, but you're kind of embarrassed to admit that you love the song.
I will admit to doing this today. In fact, on a long drive home on a very hot day. And there's almost no lyrics to this. The Mortal Kombat theme from the Mortal Kombat movie, the original one.
Just your mic.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
crank it, and I'm just like, test your mic all the time.
There's no way you were going the speed limit while listening to that song. Absolutely no way.
Well, actually, I was going dramatically under it, unfortunately, because it was a brutal traffic jam.
Oh, geez. Like that whole soundtrack from that Mortal Kombat movie is just straight.
Yeah.
It's like a workout soundtrack.
Yeah.
I love it.
The late 90s, that was just the whole thing. It was just like, what if EDM was cocaine?
Basically, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. But we're gonna stick with the car though. What is the farthest you've ever traveled from home for vacation?
Oh, now via car
Via
or just
car.
period? Okay, via
car.
car is different because I literally just got back from Dubai. I want to say I'm gonna loophole this a little bit because I flew out there, but we drove back. I was Edmonton from where I'm at, which is near Niagara Falls, so pretty much across Canada.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right. But that is in miles and distance. What if you could travel 10 years to the past or 10 years to the future, but only for 24 hours? Which way would you go and why?
I would go to the past and get myself started in all this that much sooner, to be really honest with you. I've always been, I'm not a big regret guy, but my one regret is looking at content creation and being a little bit snobby about it because I worked in TV. and having and being a little bit of an older, like I'm not an old guy, but I'm an older guy when you've got like much younger people doing all this stuff, and having that kind of get off my lawn kind of thing. It's like, oh, I worked real hard to get to where I'm at, and you guys just threw cameras on your laptops and here we go, and now you're making whatever. And I hated on it a little bit too much. And then when I kind of realized the fun you can have and the way you can connect with people instantly, and in ways that I can't doing behind the scenes work elsewhere, was such a big deal to me. And to be able to go back there and then say, hey, you know what, get in while the getting's good, and here's how you can kind of get started so you'll be steps ahead of people.
That is a great, and honestly, I wish I could go back and change my answer to that, because that is that's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much it right there. How about a little color theory though? How would you describe the color purple to a blind man?
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna assume fully on blind, like not somebody, because there's all
from birth,
spectrums of blind.
Yeah.
From birth, can't see a thing. Oh. Picture a world in which a pinhole of light is finally being introduced to you, and the light that surrounds that hole is the beginnings of purple.
All right, that's a different description than we've heard before. I like it.
I don't know that that would help, but I could also just say picture whatever you think Prince is, and he's wearing purple, and he's like, oh, I totally get that.
That's exactly was my answer. It's Prince. That's purple.
I love it. All right, what is the funniest thing to ever happen to you that you can legally talk about?
Oh man, there's a lot of good ones. I don't have any illegal ones. I've lived a reasonably wholesome life.
Just gotta make sure. Just gotta make sure.
Yeah. Honorable mention to the time I was on the phone with my friend and now my co-podcaster and all that. He was away at college, and he goes, "I have to go. 2 homeless people are karate fighting." That was that one always made, and that one just made me laugh really hard. But I think, again, most of my moments are with this guy. I almost wish he was here with me, almost. We were in class one time. It was our very first class doing a tech theater class. And the teacher who was in front had very feathered hair. And this wasn't the 80s. This was like 1999. But she had very, very feathered hair, and she had kind of she looked very kind of 80s, right? And wonderful teacher. She was wonderful and so helpful in every way. But in this first impression of her, I just leaned over and I was like, what if she just turned around and it was like Twisted Sister, and she was just like, wah! And we started laughing, and the joke's not that funny, and we were aware of that, but we started laughing so hard that we couldn't breathe, and we got kicked out of the class before the bell rang. And we got sent out into the hall, and we just laughed and laughed, and she'd come out and we'd still be laughing, and then finally she's like, what was that? And we had to lie and just be like, oh well, we had a joke just before we came in and we just couldn't get it out of our system. We're very sorry. And then went in, and then he tried to kind of do it again, like, what? And I'm like, no, we're gonna get kicked out of school, man. Like that was it. But I don't remember ever laughing so hard. It was funny to nobody but us. But
well, a lot of times the funniest things are kind of inside things, and things that aren't funny to other people are freaking hilarious to you. You know what I mean? I love that type of story. All right, if you were to poll your family and friends, what would they say you're most known for?
Strange energy would probably be my thing. That, or like being the one who always repeats the same stories over and over again because he talks so much he doesn't know who he told the story to last. But I've always been known to have a very get up and go energy and be the one who's like, yeah, let go nonstop, right? You go to Disney, I'm the rope drop to close, and then I'm not understanding why people are tired and keep up with me. Come on, let's go. And in the morning, hey, let's boom, boom, and everybody's like, nope, not ready for you yet. So that's my general thing.
So I take it you're a huge Disney guy.
I am. Actually, I've started a new channel that's all Disney. Well, not just Disney based, but Disney travel, theme parks, and that sort of thing. And we're going out in October, and I'm going to shoot a bunch of stuff while we're there. And I've done some cool media events with them, and yeah, it's been
Very
fun.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
I grew up in Florida, an hour away from Disney, so I'm Disneyed out. I'm Disneyed out.
I get that. I get that. I'm up just north of the border though, so I have to get it when I can.
Oh, I definitely get that too. It's definitely a tourist place. Definitely a tourist place. I'm a Superman guy. You're a Disney guy. I'm a Superman guy. I have a bunch of Superman figures right over here.
Love it.
I love Superman. But if you had superhuman powers, what would it be, and would you use it for good or evil?
I've answered this question many ways in the past, and I think now as I get older, I want to control time. I want to be able to slow it down, speed it up, pause
I
it.
like that.
I would love the ability to give myself more time to do the things like this and making my videos and stuff like that, and then free up time to sleep.
Oh, yes.
All that kind of
Yes.
stuff, right?
Pause time so you can edit and then have the rest of your day to go.
Exactly. A lot of that, and just slow down the good moments, speed through the bad ones, and yeah, that would be my answer.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Like
it.
I said, I'm a Superman guy. I love comics. I love reading comics, and I love the Superman movies. But what single piece of media, whether it be book, movie, TV show, has had the most influence on the person you are today?
Wow, that's a great question. I would say, ooh, a lot of me wants to say The Simpsons, but I think in the end it's Conan O'Brien and his iterations of television
Okay.
over the years, because he's never been afraid to take a gigantic swing in a world where like the rules have already been laid out, and when it didn't go the way he wanted it to, they didn't change. They just waited till people came to him, right? Those first couple of years of Conan, if anybody remembers or doesn't remember it,
Oh, it was bad.
it was rough, and it was because they were just trying stuff. And when you look at the names who were behind him, working with him at the time, this was a pre-scandal Louis C.K., Bob Odenkirk, Dino Stamatopoulos. If you don't know him, he was Starburns in Community. But like heavy hit Robert Smigel, like heavy hitter after heavy hitter after heavy hitter, and they were all in this together, and we're just like, we're gonna burn this place down or we're gonna soar. And they ended up soaring, and he became really a legend in the end.
Yeah, he really is, actually. I didn't think he was going to be much, and then you're right. Conan O'Brien was everywhere
Yeah.
at one point.
Yeah.
Right. And I love, like I said before, I love movies. You love Conan O'Brien. I love movies. But if your life was a movie, what would the title be, and who would play you?
That's always a trigger subject for me, because do I go for type, which is hard because most people who look like me are considerably older. It's like I can go Chickless, I can go Michael Chiklis real fast. But no, I'm gonna make somebody do the work and shave their head and gain the weight. So I'm going to, oh man, just to be a jerk, I'm gonna say Zac Efron has to do all that to be me.
He's method too. He would.
That
He probably would, yeah.
That'd go from the Iron Claw to this, and the movie would be titled "Don't Slow Down."
Don't slow down.
Okay.
I love it, man. I definitely love it. Like I said, I love movies. One of my favorite movies is Castaway, where he's stranded on the desert island. If you were stranded on a desert island, what 3 items would you take with you, and why?
Whew. All right. I'm going to be very practical with the first one. and some kit with which to collect water, because I know how to do that on a beach. So there's like some little plastic and can and stuff like that. I know how to do that, so I can capture some water. So I'm good with that now. I need some form of food. I'm gonna bring a barbecue.
There you go.
So whatever I find, whatever I can fish, anything like that is all for me. And then I'm going to bring a portable vlogger kit with solar powered generator.
I love it. So you can just record your journey. Record your journey.
I can just keep it going, and I'll just live stream to people. And if they choose to come find me, they can.
I love it. I love it. If you could switch lives with someone for a day, who would it be and why?
Ooh. That's really cool. I think I would love to experience that rock star moment, just to understand that. Like, this isn't even I want to be a rock star kind of thing. It's just like to understand that stepping out on a stage and just having people just scream at you. But I don't want it to be like underage girls, so I'm gonna keep that out. So that's gonna limit my choices. I'm gonna say, just for this purpose, I'm going to say John Bon Jovi, because it's gonna be age appropriate people screaming at me in New Jersey.
And he does rock.
It, man.
He does rock.
Hey, I got no problems with Bon Jovi. He's not like my thing per se, but like he's capturing what I'm trying to experience in that moment when I'm making the switch. So
he's in my top 5.
No,
there's nothing wrong with him, man. I listened to tons of Bon Jovi back in the day. I had the Slippery When Wet album and all that kind of stuff. Young Guns fan through and through.
Yep.
Yes. Not many people know he was in like Young Guns. I love it. Last 2 questions I have for you, though. What are your 1 year, your 5 year, and your 10-year goals?
Wow. All right. My 1 year goal is to officially have all of my YouTube channels partnered. So I'm very close. I've got one done, and I'm very close on the other 2. So I would love to be able to get over the hump with those. And then for, you said 5 year and 10 year, right?
Correct.
Okay. 5 year, I want my silver play button for one of my channels. And for my 10 year, see now, like, I'm over 50 10 years from now. What do I want? Other than to still be alive. I'd like to see that I've built something that can carry on without me. So whether that means Miscast Joe becomes a network where other creators are creating on it that I just happen to run, or something along those lines. So to leave some kind of a legacy in all this.
I like that. I like that answer a lot. I almost want that for the mod squad, but if I have to leave it, it's gonna die. So here we go. Last question I have for you is, if you took center stage to the world and had everybody by their ear, what would your message be?
Quite simply, we are all in this together. It is, stop letting the people who want you to think that you're enemies like have that control over you, and just remember back to times when none of the nonsense mattered. You know, when social media didn't exist and when people weren't worrying about each other's politics or their religious beliefs or what they do in the bedroom or anything like that. You were just neighbors who were nice to each other. You were people who cared about each other. And that's all that really matters in the end, even if you do know that other stuff about each other.
That's what's up.
I love it. That's a great message, man. Great message. Snaps.
Snap.
Give me snaps.
I can't feel these fingers. I'll try to. I can't.
All right, man. That is all the questions I have for you. Felix has some rapid fire this or that questions. Felix, go ahead, take it away, my man.
Let's do it, man. Is the term GIF or GIF?
I say GIF because I don't give somebody a gift.
All right, Android or Apple?
No shade against Apple, but I've always been Android.
Me too. DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Xbox or PlayStation?
I'm gonna say Xbox because that's really PC. I have Xbox connectivity to that. So
All right. Cats or dogs?
cats, honestly.
Yeah, I see the cat behind you.
Yeah, they don't need me as much. I have a dog. I love my dog, but my dog needs me too much. This one, if I leave for a while, she'll be fine.
Prince or Michael Jackson?
Prince.
Would you rather text or call someone?
I hate talking to people. So, no, I would rather text somebody just to get the message out there, but I do want to put out as well that when somebody texts me, they can't expect me to message back right away. You text, so you're leaving that information out there for when I'm available for you, not otherwise.
All right. Checkers or chess?
Chess.
Books or ebooks?
Books, because I can commit to one thing. I don't have to have a bunch of things on one device.
All right. A great microphone or a great camera?
Audio is always more important. You can do a lot with a very cheap camera. You cannot do a lot with a very cheap microphone. So a great microphone always.
And the last one, soft or hard tacos?
Ooh. I'm a sloppy eater, so I have to say soft. I need something to envelop all of the stuff. If I eat a hard taco, you will know I ate a hard taco for a month.
All right.
I get it all in my beard.
Oh, no doubt.
Now, last thing we have for you, man, is what do you have coming up? Do you have anything to promote, and where can people find you?
Oh, you can find me anywhere. If you look on all socials under Miscast Joe, you'll find me there. If you look under my in my YouTube channel, Miscast Joe, that's youtube.com/Miscast Joe. You'll find my link in bio thing, and it brings me out. It can bring you to all my socials and all those kinds of things. Like I said, I do have 3 YouTube channels. So Miscast Joe is my main one. I have Miscast Commentary. It's the podcast where we do real-time commentaries on movies, mostly guilty pleasures and things like that. Sometimes we put ourselves through a little bit of hell. We've been watching the Twilight series recently just to do it. So that's a fun one. That's just me and my best friend, screwing around for 2 hours, and that's always a blast. And then Miscast Members is my Disney/travel channel, which I've only really gotten started, but that's available on YouTube and TikTok, as is everything else.
Very cool, man. I encourage everybody to go check them out for sure. All right, that does it for this episode of the Mod Squad Network's Conversations with the Mod Squad. I want to thank Joe from Miscast Joe for joining us. And
Nice meeting you, man.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me. It was a pleasure.
Oh, not a problem at all, man. Thank you. So for Joe and Felix, I am Kevin saying, if we don't see you again, thank you for being a friend.
See ya.